Argue with me on this all you want, but we need to stop treating the Bible like it's simply a book of good ideas or just good morals or stories about a nice guy named Jesus, because I think that's how most people approach it. Yeah, Jesus existed, probably a good teacher, probably said some nice things, and then they move on. But everything hinges on one question, not 10 questions, one question. Did Jesus rise from the dead? Because if the resurrection didn't happen, this is all meaningless. Call it a collection of stories. Call it a moral guidebook. Call it whatever it is that you want, but it has no authority, no power, no reason to take it seriously. But if it did happen, everything changes. Not some things, everything. Because now you don't just have a man with good ideas. You have a man that was brutally beaten, publicly executed, and nailed to a cross. D-E-A-D, dead. Not unconscious, not mostly dead. Dead. Spear in his side, buried in the tomb, sealed away, never to be seen again. And then 3 days later, he wasn't there. This is not a movie. There were no special effects, no second takes, no reshoots. This was real history, a real body that came back to life. And that means every single thing that he said carries weight. That he wasn't just a teacher. He said who he said he is, God. Now that means sin is real. Judgment is real. Truth is not subjective, and this life isn't random. And it also means that God didn't stay distant. He stepped into the world, lived among us, and then willingly took the punishment that we deserve. 1 Corinthians 15:14, and if Christ is not risen, then our preaching is empty, and your faith is also empty. That's how serious this is. The entire foundation stands or falls on the resurrection. So this isn't something that you brush off. This isn't something that you just casually believe or casually reject. You have to decide on what you actually think about this. Because if it's not true, you can ignore it. But if it is true, you don't get to. This is why people stay confused. It's not because there's not truth in there. It's because most of us have never stopped to examine it clearly and seriously. This is the red letters. Christ is King.